Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Udom and welcome to my video. Today we'll be discussing on the costs of university education. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Now, when you're entering into the university system, there are costs that you need to keep in mind that you would have to spend for. We are talking about the entrance costs, we are talking about the maintenance costs, the academic costs, the housing costs, and of course the flexing costs. Now, what are the entrance costs? What are the costs that you need to pay for entrance? Now, that is what I'll be discussing today. So what are the costs? What are the money you need to pay, like the cash, the transfer, the monetary transactions that you need to make when you are entering into the university system? Now, I am sure that for people that are watching this video right now, they have paid the cost of JAM, okay? The cost of buying the JAM form, the cost of processing the JAM form, the cost of doing all the necessary stuff that you need to do, even paying your transport to the JAM center to go and write your exams. You've paid that cost. Now, more costs are coming. The next one is the cost of post-UTME, okay, because you have to buy the post-UTME form. Okay, so JAM is called the UTME, the Unitary, Tertiary and Matriculation Exams. Now, after writing your Unitary, Tertiary and Matriculation Exams, which is JAM, which is otherwise called JAM, you have to take your post-UTME, and it is called the post-UTME. Okay, so it's after the UTME. Post is what comes after the UTME, which is more or less university exams. And UNN is one of the few universities in Nigeria that actually hold those exams, the post-UTME exams, or you call it the university entrance exams. Now, you have to buy the university entrance exams form, that's the post-UTME form. You need to process the form and you need to go to pay your transport to the exams hall. That is for the post-UTME side, okay? So that is another cost of the university system. Now, but apart from that, people do patronize lesson centers. So if you patronize lesson centers, then that is another payment on your entry cost, okay? People go ahead to buy past questions in both UTME and post-UTME. Those are the costs of your introduction into the university system. So some people do pay less, some people pay more because of what they need to do. I'm not going to criticize anybody if you go on JAM classes. I did JAM classes when I had my first admission. It was good, okay, to an extent. And for my second admission, I did not attend any JAM class, probably because I was older. So I didn't want to go and sit down with kids of 15, 16, 14, 15, 16, struggling who's going to answer the first question. So I did not go. And most importantly, I was working as well. So I didn't have to start stressing myself with coming from work or coming back from work and stressing myself to JAM center and stuff like that. And besides, like I said, my second admission, which means most of the things that they are teaching in the JAM centers, I've heard them before. And what is there to hear? What is going to be new? Nothing, really, nothing. So for my second admission, I did not go on JAM class. That is from my own perspective, from my own side. If you feel JAM lesson is good for you and it has its own pros and cons anyway, JAM classes. If you feel that you need it, then you can patronize it, especially for those that are not good on initiating reading and sustaining it, because you have to be able to initiate reading and then sustain it if you want to be reading alone like me, okay? So those are the costs of before the university. So after you've gotten your admission and your name is out in the admission list, okay, so what is the next thing to do? Now this video is about UNN, so anything I'm going to say, it's all concentrated on UNN, the University of Nigeria. So everything I'm going to say on this video and probably my subsequent videos is UNN related, okay? And so the first thing that you pay after you must have seen your name on the admission list, you would need to pay your acceptance fee. Okay, but as a warning, if you don't know, when you're preparing for JAM, or when you are registering for JAM, you're supposed to use your NIN and also upload your WAEC result if you have them already. Okay, if you have them, upload them, because it's going to save you a lot of headache, a lot of stress, a lot of emotional distress. Okay, now if you have your WAEC exams score, upload them. But if you don't have your WAEC exam score, then it is fine. You've actually signed your life to be stressed because of when you write JAM, you've had the cutoff mark for JAM. As of 2022, it is 140 for universities. Is it 160 or 140? Between that area, between 160 and 140. In my time, last year it was 180. Okay, but having 180 is not a criteria to get the admission. It's having 200 and above, because 200 is 50% of the JAM score. So no university is going to admit you with anything less than, at least to be on the safe side, just aim at 200. Okay, so after JAM might have given you the admission, right? Like you, after the aptitude test, your name is out in the admission list. If you have not uploaded your WAEC results on your JAM portal when you were registering for the exams, then one of two things is going to happen. Number one is that JAM is going to assume that you have not gotten your WAEC, or you've not written your WAEC, like you've not gotten your WAEC, so you're yet to have your WAEC. Or they're going to assume that you don't want to upload your WAEC result. Now, either of those two things happen is going to result in one thing: you will not be able to accept your admission. Okay, even if the school posts your name there, merit list and all of that, if you have not posted your WAEC result on the JAM site, on the JAM CAP website, you will not be able to upload your result.
Will you keep quiet?
You will not be able to upload your result.
You were not informed too? Continue.
So that's why before you go around writing JAM and scoring 400 over 400, you must have your WAEC, because without your WAEC, having 400 over 400 is like having 0 over 400, because you will not be given the admission without your WAEC. Okay, it's good that you just write your WAEC. Okay, as a matter of fact, I'm talking to you, the result that I use in my university pre-exams is my GCE results, because I didn't do very well in physics when I was in secondary school. Yeah, hello, physics bore people. Yeah, I sucked at physics when I was in school. So I had a D7 physics, so I couldn't proceed with that admission. So it's okay. So I have to write GCE to cover up for the physics, and and lo and behold, what did I get? I'm sure you must have guessed by now, C6. Okay, yeah, that's what I got. I had C6. So at least I was able to cover up my WAEC before I proceeded to write JAM. So after you must have done everything, the first payment you pay to the university system after the post-UTME is your acceptance fee, and the acceptance fee is 30,000 naira, as at 2022. And how do you pay the acceptance fee? There are two different ways you can pay the acceptance fee. You can pay it in a bank. If you are in Nsukka, I'm not sure if banks from other states do pay into UNN bank account, but I think it's possible. But I know from the one that I know, which is if you are in Nsukka, if you are in Enugu State, just go to any bank, walk in freely, even barefooted. Tell them that you want to pay your acceptance fee. Oh fuck. The only difference is that if you go to the bank, they're going to collect 30,000 naira. If you use a cyber cafe, they're going to collect 31,000 naira. And if you pay it your own way, they're going to collect 30,180 naira or something like that, because of the bank charge. Okay, that is it for the acceptance fee. and the acceptance fee is the same for every department and faculty in the University of Nigerian system. So everybody is paying 30,000 naira. So after 30,000 naira, what is the next thing to pay? The next one that you have to pay is your school fees. Now, school fees in University of Nigeria Nsukka is not the same for all departments, because there's some departments that are more demanding and needs more equipment than some other departments, and that is why school fees spans from 70,700 to about 77,200. Now, the people that pays that 70,700 are people that are in public administration, agriculture, education, vocational, technical education, and arts. Those are the ones that pay 70,700. The next highest school fee is people that pay 71,700, which are people that are in physical sciences and biological sciences. In physical science and biological sciences, they pay 71,700. While people that are in business administration and environmental sciences pay 73,200. The engineering guys pay 74,200, while the vets, medicine and law guys pay 76,200. Now, the medicine and surgery guys, we're talking about medicine, dentistry, health sciences and technology, as well as pharmacy students, they pay 77,200 because of they need equipment and stuff that are not replaceable more than any other department or faculty. We're talking about the science equipment like the chemicals and stuff like that. They use it once and they discard it. That is why their school fees are a little bit higher than the other ones. Not because they are more important than the other ones. Everybody is important, but the stuff that they use in their faculties, in their department for their experimental work are demanding more than the other ones, like engineering, that you have probably a pressing iron, and people that use that pressing iron to press their flow to be like 1,001 people, and the pressing iron is still good. But if you're looking at salts, for instance, like sodium chloride, like table salt, you use it once and you cannot it's stressful to recrystallize it. So what you do is that you throw it away. Okay, you cannot throw the iron away after first use. So that is why medical sciences always they have school fees higher than the other departments and faculties. Okay, so that is a school fees for the year one people in pharmacy department. So we've talked about acceptance fee of 30,000 naira, and then the school fees between 70,700 and 77,200, with the least people in the public admin sector, agric education, vocational technical education and arts, while the people that are in the high end are medicine, dentistry, health sciences and technology, as well as the pharmacy guys. Okay, and fortunately for me, or unfortunately for me, I am in the high end side of the range. Okay, so for returning students, the school fee drops drastically by about 20,000 naira. So now the school fee falls between 45,100 to around 51,600. I'm not going to go deep into the different departments and how much they pay, but you just know that the school fee is between 45,100 and 51,600. So the high-end guys always go with the high-end costs. Okay, so pharmacy, dentistry, medical sciences, health sciences and tech, they pay 51,600, while the other low-end guys, they are paying lesser than the other ones. They're in the 45,100. But to be on the safe side, when you're collecting your school fees, whether you are in the high end or in the low end, please collect more than 55,600, especially when you have a guardian and someone that is paying your school fees. Okay, collect 55,600, because there's a lot of things that you have to do. Okay, because you have to go to the cyber. If you don't know how to pay the school fees, you have to go to cyber, you have to pay transport to the bank, you have to pay people that are going to work on those materials and stuff like that. So it's good to have like about between 5 and 10,000 naira above your school fees when you're collecting school fees from your parents. For the final year, you're paying 46,000 naira to about 47,000 naira. So it's a little bit high and it's a little bit low, okay? But there are other expenses, okay? What about the hostel fee? Okay, now for the male student, the hostel fee is 12,000 naira. The female student, the hostel fee is 15,000 naira. And also, the female have another hostel that is called OKK Hostel. It's a little bit special hostel for girls, and the payment for that hostel is 25,000 naira. You guys pay hostel levy of 2,000 naira, the almanac for 600 naira, the environmental levy for 2,500 naira. When you're going into school, you pay your faculty dues of about 2,500 naira and departmental levy of about 1,000 naira or 2,000 naira or so. So how do they allocate hostel spaces? You want students, they give them 40% of the hostel accommodation. Final year, they give them 20%. Other years, we are talking about between year 3 and your second before the last year, they give them 25% hostel accommodation, and PG students, they give them 5% hostel accommodation. Friends of the faculty of the university, they give them 5% allocation, and staff they give them 5% hostel accommodation. Now, I'm not saying that this is the only money that you pay when you are entering school. There could be more, because this is a rough sketch of what they paid in 2021 session. So we don't know how much we are going to pay in the 2022 session, judging from the fact that ASU are still struggling with federal government, and federal government is pissing them off. I don't know if they're going to increase the cost or they're going to reduce the cost, but as at 2022, this was what they paid, and probably this is a projection of next year, but it's not a good projection, okay? So whatever you listen to it with a grain of salt, because they might wake up next morning and instead of paying 30,000, okay, we have paid the 30,000 naira, so they might change the school fees from 77,000 naira for us, 200 to something else. So, but for now, keep fingers crossed, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you for watching.